In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with y'all a stock that is about to make an insane move tomorrow and why y'all should keep it in your watch list. We're also going to look at the overall markets to get you guys prepared, along with doing an update on some of the stocks that I've mentioned in the last video. Alright, y'all, let's dive into the charts. Right off the bat, we got the Nasdaq futures. And in the last video, I warned you guys, do not be alarmed, do not be surprised if we see some more selling pressure today. And selling pressure is definitely what we got, all right? Out the gates, it started out being choppy, and then after like 9:30, it really started to fall, and then made a small dead cat bounce, and then closed near today's low. When we look at the daily chart, it looks like the bears are really taking over. So I think 19,500 tomorrow wouldn't be too much to ask, right? Something surprising occurred with the VIX. Let's check out the VIX. So the VIX went up. It went up, but it started out high first, which I thought was a bit odd. All right, and we also saw a rotation of money going from QQQ and into IWM and the Dow Jones, which kind of explain why the banks didn't collapse like I thought they would. We're gonna look at the banks really quick. All right, but with the VIX, it hasn't gone to 15 yet, and I think if tomorrow we sell off, we're finally going to see the VIX push up to 15. Despite the intraday sell-off with QQQ, this one just faded out the gates and then just played a whole lot of games throughout the whole day. It just stayed in between this tight range right here, right? So maybe it will behave tomorrow. Now, also something that I want to share with y'all with the Nasdaq about why I told y'all not to be surprised if we see a sell-off is because of this. When we look at just what happened on Friday, right? There was something incomplete. There was something incomplete there, as you see that I'm drawing. It was kind of there. It was looking a little bearish into the close, all right? The structure was there. So that was my suspicions already. And then today, I thought the low would be at 476, and it definitely got to 476 and even lower than that. All right. Now, let's look at the stock that is about to make an insane move. That stock is Amazon. Now, I want to share Amazon with y'all because this is a bit odd. The reason why I want to share with y'all, it is an odd reason, but I think it would make sense really quickly. So we have Amazon, and Amazon had a pretty good structure on there. It did. And I know some of y'all, one person asked in the comment section of the last video, Amazon is about to make a bullish move. Somebody even in the Discord asked me about this, and my response to that was that Amazon was looking good, but the timing of it was just really off, because there's a sector that has to collapse, and obviously the semiconductor sector, right? That sector has to collapse, and when it does collapse, which it definitely did today, this one might be negatively impacted. So what you see here is a structure that is not clean, and there's a lot of bulls right here, a lot of greedy bulls. Right, at first the stock was generous, meaning in the morning it gapped up and pushed up. Those contracts, anybody who bought contracts in here could have been up by a good 30%, maybe 40%. All right, but if they didn't take their money, especially after this massive turnaround right here, and especially after the bearish pennant that formed intraday right here, for the short entry for shorts right here, right? These individuals are most likely gonna panic tomorrow. So watch Amazon for a continuation down. This is really nasty. like these balls would probably freak out, especially if QQQ opens up lower. If we start heading lower, we might see this thing open up at 195, and we could see it drop all the way down to 180 like that. All right, watch the tech stocks for tomorrow. I think the pullback has just begun, or maybe it started. Some people could argue that it started on like Thursday when NVDA really gave out, right? But it's really like the bears are taking control today. They're really in control. So watch for a sell-off tomorrow. Now, let's do an update on Bank of America. I was wrong about this one. I was not expecting the rotation of money from QQQ into the Dow Jones. The banks really move a lot when the Dow Jones pushes higher. The bearish panic was there. The breakdown occurred, yes, but out the gates it did something that it's not supposed to do. If you've been following the channel, right, whenever I share with y'all something like this, my stop loss, or the stop loss that I would take in this situation, would usually be right here, where I would set an alert right there. All right, and if the price was to go above it, which it ended up being above it out the gates, right, then the structure would no longer be clean anymore, and you have to look at something else. Or you can counter trade this and go the opposite way, right? But it did something that it's not supposed to do, which is to open up higher than what the stop loss would have been, right? What I was looking for, and what I shared in that video, was an opening around this price at 39.34, followed by a dump. But that did not occur. Let me share with y'all the trade that I took. All right, so this was on the watch list, but because NVIDIA did so well for us last week, this is kind of a continuation. You remember when I told y'all I bought post on it on Thursday, going into Friday, made 76% on my money. All right, what I didn't tell y'all in that video is that I got back in at the close. Like on that same day, on the 21st, 4 minutes again before the market closed on Friday, I got back in with puts for the drop. All right, the 4 hour was still bearish, and the price target that I told y'all was 120. I told y'all in the last video, congratulations if y'all caught that, if y'all picked up on that and were able to make some money on the NVIDIA drop. Over the weekend, this thing ended up opening in our favor. Out the gates, it dropped by $5 pre-market. Like it closed at 126.5. all right, and then I told y'all, when I'm swinging and then there is something that's going really well in my favor, for example this one, right, it gapped down by 2%, I'm going to at least sell half or all of it if I like it enough. All right, so I ended up getting out completely at 122.5, and I didn't look at it again. When we go back to NVIDIA, this thing actually just continued dropping. Like I got out the gates, took my 55% gain, all right, and then I just left the stock alone. Eventually it played some little games, and then it really tanked all the way down to 120. Right now it has a descending triangle on the charts. We have the breakdown at the close. Tomorrow we could see it go even lower. We could see it go even lower to 112. Yeah, I think it can get down to 112. Maybe lower, who knows? Maybe lower. It kind of all depends on what QQQ does. All right, but so far it's still falling, and I'm still bearish on most stocks in the market. All right, now that's the trade that we took. That's my honest thoughts on the video. The last one that we're going to check out is HIMS. And HIMS, this one, it just played games throughout the day. Like it opened at the same price. I didn't see a red candle down like that. It chopped throughout the whole day. The daily chart is still bearish. There are short sellers located up here. So it is definitely worth watching, especially if the Qs sell off tomorrow. This thing, set an alert like I did, and patiently wait for it to ring. And when it rings, we could finally see that drop all the way down to 18 bucks. That's my honest thoughts on all of these stocks, and that is the end of the video. Do not forget to annihilate the like button as always. All right, I make these videos from Sunday to Thursday at exactly 10 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so definitely click on that subscribe button and click on the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on future uploads. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community where you can get all of this information in real time as I see them, along with the contracts that I buy, the details of those contracts, and most importantly, the reason why I take the trades that I take to begin with. That way you get to learn along the way. You can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. Don't forget to follow my social media at Patternology at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on X. And lastly, to get some free stocks with Weibo, you can use the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patternology Lab, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in tomorrow night's video.